Is there a question?
Coach, how do you feel like Tyrese handled the last 48 hours and what he's was able to show tonight?
It's always a delicate position to be in. And I want to make sure, similar to yesterday, that I handle this in a respectful way. A respectful way relative to Texas A&M. A respectful way relative to the legalities of it all. Team rule number one is always tell the truth, comma, no matter your emotional state, period. Secrets are lies. I've always told you guys the truth. And I am very aware after whatever it is, 550 games as a head coach at 4 different places, what comes with the job. I'm very thankful for the job, very thankful for what comes with it. But I also think along the way, what comes with it, Travis, is despite all the good things that come with the job, when things get hard, are you still going to do right by the people? And I know that I'll be judged in some ways by some people relative to the result. I'm not shying away from that, nor am I being condescending in that. As I mentioned to Olin yesterday, I've been aware of it longer than anybody, and I have a lot of thoughts on it. And you guys know that I have a long-standing relationship with Boots, with his mom, with his dad, with his stepmom. I actually think to some degree he's elected to use his COVID year here based on the relationship. I stopped Twitter and the internet, and I've been shocked since last Saturday, a lot of the things that have been brought to my attention. And it's in some ways been very liberating. I'm going to do right as a person. Not because I'm holier than thou. Not because I'm always right. I have faults. Boots has faults. And everybody on our team has faults. But the things that have been said are not right. And whether I coach here or I don't coach here, someday Boots will be my age. And I want to be able to still have a relationship based on team rule number one with him and with his family. I hope we win a bunch of games, like you mentioned about February. And I hope we make a bunch of free throws and make layups. But regardless of location and regardless of opponent, I do think that I've been entrusted and been blessed partly to be responsible for the relationships that are built on truth and love. And so he's been through a lot. And as I told you yesterday, I think the world of him, not because he's a good player. And I thought how he responded was otherworldly. I'm thankful for the result. But as I mentioned to you guys a week or 10 days ago, I'm not going to betray my relationship with these guys based on can they make a shot. And I understand the world's changed in coaching and college athletics. I understand the rules are different. I'm not talking about the portal. I'm not talking about Texas Ags and what's been going on over there. I'm not talking about who the AD is or who the next AD is. I'm not talking about NIL. I'm just talking about it as a person. And so I don't want to have a tirade, and I'm talking slower than normal because I want to guard my words. Boots has handled all of this in truth, and everything that I have said to you guys is in truth.
As we look at this game, and Wade was in foul trouble, Andy was in foul trouble, you are down 12. Y'all typically rely heavily on offensive rebounds, second chance points, and you didn't have a bunch of those. So when you look at it, how'd y'all win this one?
Yeah, I didn't think that we were very good in the first half. I thought we started okay. I took 4 out on what was his called second one because I knew they were going to review it and it would turn into his third one. Boots had 0 offensive rebounds at half. Andy had 0. Actually, I think our forwards, their forwards, had more offensive rebounds than our forwards had defensive rebounds. We were dramatically better on the glass in the second half, which helped a lot, obviously. We were better on the offensive glass in the second half, but we also did a better job of keeping them off the offensive glass in the second half. And I think in many respects, if you were to look at any category that would suggest what was the difference, I would say it would be that. We probably played a little bit more zone than we have in a long time. Just because of what you said, the foul trouble. Like, how can we keep our good players in the game and hide them? And I thought in many respects that probably lengthens the game. And down 12, that's not what you want. But I don't know that we can come back from 12 down without 4 or without Andy. So I thought Henry played really well in stretches during that segment. And I thought Solo was tremendous throughout the entire game, the last possession, all of the things that he did for us. But trying to manage down 12 with the foul trouble, I think the glass helped us, and it was the glass, offensive and defensive.
What was said in the final timeout after Wade had moved on the baseline?
Yeah. That was when they called the timeout, right? Yeah, I drew up what I anticipated that they would run on a special out of bounds under. I talked about if they scored, we had no timeouts. That's the longest stretch of time in my career that we've played without a timeout. So we talked about if they made it, what we would do. We talked about what we were going to do off of their action relative to the ball screen. And then obviously we talked about we have to finish the possession with a rebound. And I don't know that that's ever happened in Four's life. And so the first thing I said when the huddle began was, Four, do you want to stay in the game because you can't get past what just happened? He's like, yeah, I'm good. So that was the first thing that I said.
Buzz, how much did that 20 free throws in the second half help you guys defensively, especially that 11-minute stretch? They scored 9 points, Florida did.
Well, we need to continue to spend time and make it a priority to make free throws. I don't know if you were here yesterday. I can't remember. I know you normally sit on the second row, but we are first in free throw attempts. We were just next to entering today, and I would assume we'll be last now. Entering today, we were next to last in free throw makes percentage. So statistically speaking, percentage-wise, we need to accumulate as many as we can. But hopefully we can increase the percentage. We want to be in the bonus first in both halves. That's one of our goals. And we got to the bonus much faster in the second half than we did the first. Not sure if we got to the bonus in the first half or not, now that I'm saying it. They got to the bonus first, I know, in the first half. And then I think there was a certain timeline in there where we were in the double bonus and they were in the single bonus. And so offensively, we are reliant on getting fouled. It's designed that way. We were first in the country in free throw attempts and makes last year. We're first in the league now in attempts. We just need to make more of them.
I could ask you, go ahead.
With the recipe being a lot of trying to get to the foul, get to the free throw line, when you do go through stretches where you're getting penetration but you're not getting to the line, how do you teach weathering that storm to?
When we're not getting fouled? Well, if you're not getting fouled, hopefully it means you dropped it off because they were in rotation, similar to what I've talked to you about before. Going into today, 42% of our shots were at the rim. That's a really good number. Now, Florida's number is even higher than ours. They do an incredible job at the rim with their guards, but also with their forwards. But we are last in layup field goal percentage. So that's been what we've been trying to focus on. Can we make a higher percentage of both free throws and layups? And then the other thing, I don't know if I said this to you guys yesterday or not. Coming into today, in our 3 SEC wins, to his question, opponents had attempted 13 free throws. And in our 4 SEC losses, opponents had attempted 23 free throws. So we need to get fouled, and we need to make layups, just like any coach would say. And then we need to defend without fouling, because we don't want to have the same numbers they have in regards to free throw attempts.
Buzz, I know you all are busy during breaks, but does it add a little fun when, like, a student, and the overalls were a bonus, but makes a half-court shot? And the arena
Yeah,
goes
you know,
nuts?
was that during the last ATO, or was that during the next to last ATO?
I think next to last. Yeah.
Yeah, I knew something was going on that was great entertainment. Because I think at the what was the score? I think it was a 1-possession game in that last ATO. But in that last ATO, Brent, we had already used all of our timeouts. Is that right? And so I'm trying to explain to our guys, because no matter how long they've been here, that's never happened since I've worked at Texas A&M. So I'm trying to explain to them, guys, you can't call a timeout on like a scrum, like how Solo used that last timeout. You can't do that. That's going to be a technical. So I'm trying to explain to them, guys, we don't have any timeouts. The next time I'm going to see is under 4. And what happened? Somebody made a half.
She banked it off the half-court shot. Place went nuts.
A female?
Yes.
And what did she win?
$1,000.
J-Mo, that's all we can give them? Seriously? Was she a student?
Yeah.
I think so.
Kerrville.
Say it again?
Kerrville, yeah.
Isn't that where, did she go to Kerrville Tivy or Kerrville High? And Kerrville is where Shriner University is. Well, if she's listening, which she's not, come see me. I'll match the gift from Texas A&M. Surely we can do better than that, J-Mo. Sorry, sweetheart. Just to lighten the mood of everything.
Hey, Buzz, if I could ask you 2 things right quick. First of all, if you just speak to the defense y'all played in the last 20 seconds. Obviously, they didn't score. They didn't. But was it everything you wanted to see? You know, was the I guess the way y'all played, the way you?
Well, similar to what she asked, and what was that last time out? I think it was 19-9 on the clock. It was after a snafu, obviously. We had played a stretch there when Mo was in, when we were playing small relative to foul trouble, that we changed what we were doing defensively. I thought Henry played well in a stretch there. And a hard decision. You don't know if they're going to make it or not, but you do know that you don't have any timeouts. So who do you need in if they do score to have a chance to score on the other end? The play that I thought they would run actually ended up being the play that they ran, but they were playing with 4 guards. They ran the same play, but they were only playing with 1 big. So I drew up the play that they typically run with 2 forwards. And because they were playing with 4 guards, we changed our ball screen coverage because I knew that there would be a ball screen that ends up Solo on 0. Is that right? Solo on 0 in the channel. Solo's defense was incredible in that possession, but also throughout the day. He didn't reach, he didn't foul, and the shot was contested. And before that, when it was out of bounds on them, when it was 19-9, before the snafu, Solo's we call it code maroon, as in Texas A&M maroon. Like, it's just an ISO. It's just one-on-one. Solo is tremendous again. So, yes, sir, I think we probably played it the right way.
And then I just wanted to ask you, I saw after the game you and Wade, looked like your embrace is saying something to him. I was wondering, is it something you would want to share? What was
He just said, I love you. And I said, I love you. And I think Boots was after 4. And, you know, I've been telling them, you can't even emotionally run away from how hard all of this is. It's just part of it. And that's what we've all dreamed of. And so let's embrace it. And regardless of the result, and Ford was like, Coach, you always say we get the same test until we pass it. That was the same test. And I go, yes, sir. It was the same test we had last Saturday when we were in here.
Coach, you touched on it, but Solo said on that last possession going into that timeout that he came up to you and said he wants to guard 0.
Yeah, Solo is very smart. I don't know if that comes across that way. He's typically not been in environments such as this media room, but I think he's the second smartest person in our program other than TJ Ryan. And I think most of our group would say that. So I don't know if he's necessarily the best speaker, but he for sure wants to guard who he thinks the best player is, regardless of position. And that is arguably his best skill. He's really smart, so he knows what they're doing. He can handle any ball screen coverage, whether he's guarding the ball or guarding the screener. 6'7", legitimate size, a high-level athlete with a high-level IQ. And because of how he grew up and where he's from and his life story, he embraces how hard things are, and he wants to be at the front of the line. And I think he was he was throughout the day, but those last 2 possessions, he was stellar.
Jace wants to know who your favorite player is.
Yeah, that's a bad question, Jace. Like, I wrote to Jace today on his game day note, how much I respect his willingness to be 10 toes in to what we're doing. Great family, great character, great person. But when you've been coached somewhere else for 2 years, that doesn't count high school, that doesn't count AAU. That's not just Jace, that's any person that transfers. In recruiting, you want to replace Dexter Dennis. That sounds good. Hey, there's an opportunity to play, et cetera, et cetera. But when you get here and you realize, wow, that's a lot of responsibility, he's never shied away from any of it. And he's actually spent extra time trying to be ahead of the curve in those responsibilities, and probably accepted by the returners as one of us, arguably as quick as anyone here or elsewhere. Obviously, the portal just started when I got here, and we haven't had a lot of transfers. But I think all of those things I just mentioned, that's a lot of stuff, and he's done a great job. He played more minutes than anybody last week and had more defensive rebounds and more offensive rebounds. And to someone's question, he's guarding really good players. And today, particularly in the first half, I think he was the only guy rebounding. And so he plays another heavy minute game again today. So they're all my favorites.
All right. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.